Many people walk through life with a smile on their face, greeting others politely, laughing in conversations, and completing their daily routines as if everything is perfectly fine, but deep inside they feel tired, lonely, anxious, or emotionally broken, and pretending to be happy has slowly become a common survival habit in modern human behavior. Because from a very young age people are taught that showing sadness is a sign of weakness, crying too much is annoying, and talking about emotional pain makes life uncomfortable for others, so they learn to hide their true feelings and wear a mask of happiness to fit into society. One of the strongest reasons people pretend to be happy is fear of judgment, because they worry that if they show their pain, others will see them as negative, weak, dramatic, or difficult to deal with, so instead of being honest, they choose silence and fake smiles, believing that looking happy will protect them from rejection, criticism, or uncomfortable questions. This fear slowly trains the mind to hide emotions automatically, even when no one is asking them to do so. Social media has made this behavior much stronger because online platforms mostly show perfect moments, smiling faces, luxury lifestyles, successful careers, and happy relationships, creating a false image that everyone else is doing well. So when people compare their real struggles with these edited lives, they start believing something is wrong with them. And to avoid feeling left out or broken, they also begin pretending to be happy even when they are not. Another powerful reason behind fake happiness is emotional survival, because many people have tried opening up in the past and were ignored, judged, laughed at, or told to be strong, so they learn that showing pain does not bring comfort, it brings disappointment, and instead of repeating that hurt, they choose to hide their emotions and act fine, because pretending feels safer than being vulnerable again. Many people pretend to be happy to protect others, as they do not want to worry their parents, stress their partners, or burden their friends with their problems, so they keep saying they are okay even when they are not, believing that staying silent is a form of kindness, but over time this kindness slowly turns into self-neglect, where their own emotional needs are completely ignored. Work pressure and social expectations also play a huge role, especially in societies where people are expected to be confident, productive, positive, and strong all the time, and admitting emotional pain feels risky because people fear losing respect, opportunities, or control, so they hide stress, anxiety, and sadness behind confidence and smiles just to survive professionally. Over time, pretending to be happy becomes a habit, and people stop understanding their own emotions, because they disconnect from what they truly feel, which creates loneliness even when surrounded by others. Because pretending to be happy does not mean someone is lying, it means they are trying to survive in a world that does not always feel safe for emotional honesty. The emotional cost of pretending is very high because suppressed emotions do not disappear. They stay hidden and slowly turn into overthinking, anxiety, emotional numbness, and deep exhaustion, which is why many people who fake happiness feel tired without knowing why, because acting happy requires constant emotional energy. One of the most painful parts of pretending to be happy is feeling invisible, because people often say things like, "You are always smiling," or "You are so positive," without realizing the pain behind the smile, and this makes the person feel misunderstood, unheard, and emotionally alone. Pretending to be happy also damages identity, because after acting for so long, people forget who they really are, and they feel lost, confused, and disconnected from themselves, as they no longer know whether the happiness they show is real or just a performance. Relationships also suffer when emotions are hidden, because real connection needs honesty, and when pain is hidden, relationships become shallow, where people talk and laugh but never truly understand each other, creating emotional distance even in close relationships. Past emotional wounds make pretending stronger, because many people once trusted someone with their feelings and were ignored or judged, teaching them that silence feels safer than honesty, especially in cultures where emotional expression is discouraged. Pretending to be happy may help people survive socially, but it slowly breaks them emotionally from the inside, creating a quiet pain that no one sees but the person feels every single day. When people continue pretending to be happy for a long time, the hidden emotions do not disappear. Instead, they slowly turn into anxiety, anger, stress, emotional burnout, and deep sadness. Because emotions that are ignored always find another way to come out, often at the worst possible time. Many people who fake happiness start feeling lost, because after wearing a mask for so long, they no longer recognize their true emotions, which creates emotional confusion and emptiness, making life feel meaningless even when everything looks fine on the surface. Emotional isolation becomes stronger, because when people hide pain, others assume everything is okay, so no one checks on them. No one asks deeper questions, and this silence increases loneliness. Guilt also plays a role, because many people believe they should not feel sad since others have bigger problems, so they silence themselves and continue pretending, turning pain into a private burden they carry alone. Cultural expectations make this behavior more common, especially in societies where strength is praised and vulnerability is discouraged, forcing people, especially men, to hide emotional pain behind confidence, humor, or success. Healing begins when people understand that emotions are not enemies, sadness does not mean failure, and feeling tired does not mean weakness, because emotions are signals asking for attention, not problems to be ignored. The first step toward healing is honesty with yourself, because you do not need to explain everything to everyone. But you should never lie to yourself, and even admitting silently that you are not okay can be powerful. Choosing one safe person to talk to can change everything, because one honest conversation can release years of hidden pain, and setting emotional boundaries is also important, because you are not required to perform happiness for others. Learning to say no, resting when tired, and allowing yourself to feel without guilt slowly rebuilds emotional balance, and reducing comparison, especially on social media, reminds people that real life does not need to look perfect to be meaningful. Self-kindness is essential, because people who pretend to be happy are often very kind to others but very harsh on themselves, so learning to treat yourself with patience, understanding, and respect is necessary for healing. If you are someone who pretends to be happy, remember that you are not alone. Many people feel the same way but hide it just like you, and you do not need to smile to be valuable. You do not need to hide pain to be accepted, and you do not need to be strong all the time. Real strength is honesty, real peace comes from being real, and sometimes the bravest thing a person can do is stop pretending and admit that they are not okay.